أشهد أن محمد رسول الله.
بسم الله الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسوله الأمين أما بعد. All praise and thanks due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Tonight our discussion is about Zakat. We know in Islam the religion is built upon 5 pillars. Shahadat an la ilaha illallah wa anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. Testifying that none has the right to be worshipped except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and believing and testifying that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the final and the final messengers of God. That's the first pillar of Islam, testimony of faith, ash-shahada. And then we talk about as-salat, which means to perform the 5 daily prayers. That's the second pillar of Islam. Tonight, our discussion is going to be about Zakat, the third pillar of Islam, which relates to wealth. The wealth that we as Muslims possess, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala entrusted us with this wealth. So when the wealth or the money reaches the nisab, which is the minimum amount of a wealth that Zakat is due from, we have to give that money to those people that Allah commanded in Surah At-Tawbah, the 8 group of people that should benefit from those money. So the Mu'allif is saying that Bab Zakat, which is the chapter of charity, he said وَهِيَ وَاجِبَةٌ, which means it is compulsory. If you get that amount of money that we will just discuss, if your wealth reach the threshold of zakat, it is obligatory upon you to give a zakat to the poor and the needy in your community in order to uplift them financially, support them, and give them hands and support. So the Mu'allif said, وَهِيَ وَاجِبَةٌ, because we know very well that Allah commands us in the Holy Quran, وَأَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَآتُوا الزَّكَاةَ. Perform salat, establish prayer, and also gave the charity, gave the zakat. And when we say zakat, it means purifications. It purifies your wealth. It purifies your wealth. And those 2.5% that is given to the poor brings barakah in your wealth. Bring barakahs in your wealth. So the Mu'allif said, وَهِيَ وَاجِبَةٌ عَلَى كُلِّ Muslim. It is obligatory upon every single Muslim. Which means the kafir, the one who is not Muslim, is not obligatory upon him. Even if a non-Muslim lives in a Muslim nation and he possesses that wealth, that amount of wealth, it is not obligatory upon him to pay zakat. Meaning that Islam respects other faith, other religion to be practiced as they teach them. وهي واجبة على كل مسلم حر ملك نصابا ملكا تاما. If you possess this wealth, which means you have it in your account, and the wealth reaches the nisab, the minimum threshold of zakat, then it becomes obligatory upon you to give it. If it is in debt and you don't know where is that person, if you give that money to someone and you haven't seen him for a long time, you don't hear from him, it is not obligatory upon you to give zakat. إذا كان المال عند شخص آخر كدين وأنت لا تقدر عليه أن تسلمه في وقته فلا يجب عليك الزكاة كما سوف نشرح. قال هي واجبة ولا زكاة في مال حتى يحول عليه الحول. And zakat is obligatory upon a money, upon a wealth, when a year goes around on that wealth and it is still in your possession. Then you will give the zakat if it reaches the threshold of النصاب. قال ولا تجب الزكاة إلا في أربعة أنواع. Zakat, it is obligatory in certain amount of money. We have livestock. If you have animals like cow, goat, sheep, there is nisab for that. And if you, كما قال المؤلف, if you have gold and silver, الذهب والفضة, there is a nisab, that is a zakat on that if it reaches the threshold of zakat. And also عروض التجارة, those commodities that you have in your shop for sale, those clothing, shoes that you're selling to make business, those business products that you own, there is a zakat upon it. But if you have a clothes or shoes that you are wearing for yourself for personal uses, there's no zakat in that. It is upon business items, business products. قال والخارج الأرض والأثمان, and those things that come out of the soil, like you have fruits, you have rice, corn, all these are things that there is zakat in it. So we now know that there is zakat in 4 kinds of wealth. 1, السائمة من البهيمة الأنعام, livestock, sheep, goat, cow. If they reach the threshold that we will learn, then it is upon that person who owns that goat, camel, sheep, to give the nisab, to give the zakat to the poor in that community. 2, if you have gold or silver, and we will explain what is the nisab, what is the threshold of this, what is the minimum amount of money when a gold or silver reaches, that there should be a zakat. We will discuss all these. And also عروض التجارة, you are a business person out there in downtown, you are selling clothes, shoes. At the end of the year, you will calculate the amount of the value of that product and give the zakat, the 2.5% of that, to the poor and the needy. And basically, because I don't think most of us here, we don't have camel, we don't have cow, we don't have sheep, we'll just skip all those things and we'll just deal with some things that we have, which is cash. Okay? Cash, gold, and silver. That's going to be our discussion because we don't have, no one of, have you seen a camel? What's the name? Hakim. Have you seen a camel? No. So, case closed. So what we're going to talk about is this. The Mu'allif said that if you have a goal, إذا كان عندك ذهب ونصاب الذهب كما يقول المؤلف قال ولا زكاة في الفضة وهي نوع ولا زكاة في الفضة حتى تبلغ 200 درهم. There's no zakat in a gold until it reaches the nisab, the threshold of 200 dirham, which is 87.49 gram. If your gold that you have at home reaches that, there's a zakat in that amount of gold. And there's a website that helps us to calculate all these things. So we cannot learn all these things here tonight. I will just give you a broad visions about zakat, and then if you have any questions, then you can come later and we can discuss it. قال فيجب فيها 5 دراهم ولا في ذهب حتى يبلغ ولا زكاة في الفضة. Silver, there's no zakat in silver. I'm sorry, misquoted. ولا زكاة في الفضة, there's no zakat in silver until it reaches the threshold nisab, which is 200 dirham, which is 613.350 grams. فيجب فيها 5 دراهم, and then at that point there will be 5 dirham that will be obligatory in that money, in that silver. ولا في الذهب حتى يبلغ 20 مثقالا فيجب فيها نصف مثقال. And the gold, it is obligatory upon you to give the zakat of a gold when it reaches the nisab, which is 20 mithqal, and if we calculate that, that is going to be 87.49 gram. That is the silver and gold. How about cash? Until الآن, you have $5,000 in your account. This is a nisab. If you have a $5,000 in your account, 1 year, like you got this money January, you went, you filed tax, and they gave you $5,000. Let us say February, you get this in your account, and then you waited, and this money was in your account until next year, February 2017. That's 5,000. It is upon you to give the zakat of that, which is 2.5%. So, where are the mathematicians among us here tonight? 125, mashallah. $125. It is the zakat of that $5,000. So if you have $5,000 in your account, وحال عليه الحول, 1 year passes and that money is staying in your account, you will take 2.5% of that money and give it to those people that we will mention to you now. الفقراء والمساكين والعاملين عليها وفي الرقاب وابن السبيل والغارمين. We will mention all the 8 people that were being mentioned by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Holy Quran, that they are the one who are entitled to the zakat. قال وهم ثمانية, يعني أهل الزكاة ثمانية. There are 8 people, group of people. الفقراء. Those are the poor people. Someone who doesn't have money to feed himself and his family. If you have $5,000 in your account and a year passes on that and it stays in your account, you will take 2.5% of that money and give it to the Imam, or to give it to look for those people in the community and give them. And it is better that when we give our zakat, we should give it to the poor in our community. Because Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, when he sent Mu'adh bin Jabal to Yemen, he told him that when he goes, he should collect the zakat. And when he collects the zakat from the rich people in that community, he should give it to the poor people in that community. Do you understand what Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam? Why? Because those people are in need of that. So you don't have to take that money and send it wire out to another country. Because there are poor people in your community that are attached to you as a Muslim brother, and they are in need of that wealth. So you will take that $125 from your $5,000, subhanallah, and give it to that poor people. And subhanallah, if you give the zakat, you have fulfilled your duty that Allah has commanded you to do. The Mu'allif said that if you have that money, if you, for example, you have $5,000 February, until November, someone came and took that money, said, loan me $5,000. You took that $5,000 and gave it to him, and he went. And you know very well that that person will come and give that money back to you within 3 months or 4 months. Then you have to give the zakat. But if you don't know that probably that person will not come. He took the money, he said to you that I'm going to give you that money, and he called you, oh man, things are very tough on me these days. I don't have the money that I told you that I'm going to give it back to you. Then there's no zakat upon you. Okay? The second person is al-miskin, al-masakin. Who are those? Al-masakin هم الذين يجدون ذلك ولا يجدون تمام الكفاية. Is a person, miskin, the difference between a poor and a destitute is that someone who has some money to feed himself and his family, but it is not enough. فاهمين الفرق؟ الفقير ما عنده تمام. المسكين عنده ولكن ما يكفي. So zakat can be taken and given to that person. Thirdly, العاملون عليها. Those are the people that go out to collect the zakat. When they come, the imam or the leader in that community can take that money and give some to those people for encouragement and encourage them. الرابع المؤلفة قلوبهم. Those are the weak people, weak Muslims, who in the community, his imam is da'if, his faith is da'if. So the imam will take that money and give it to him. Imam al-da'if. The imam will take that money and give it to him لتقوية إيمانه, to uplift him spiritually. Or even some scholars said that even someone who is not a Muslim yet, but he is willing to accept Islam, the imam can take that money and give it to him to encourage him to bring him to Islam. Okay? That is al-mu'allafat qulubuhum. And then he said, and also he said, وَهُمُ السَّادَةَ الْمُطَاعُونَ فِي عَشَائِرِهِمْ. And those are the leaders. If there's a community here now and their leaders is not a Muslim, but he is looking into it, we can take the zakat and give it to him in order to soften his heart to Muslims, to the community, to the Muslim community, to encourage him to accept Islam, and also, even if he is not accepting Islam at that time, to make him to stop, not to harm the Muslims community. It is a strategy that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala lay out in order to encourage people to bring it to the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Al-riqab is to set slave free, because during the time of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam there were a lot of slaves. So this was one of the mechanisms that Islam brought in order to set slave free. So if there is a zakat, enough zakat, those money will be taken and give to slave master in order to set free, emancipate those slaves. يعني تحرير العبيد. ثم قال الغارمون وهم المدينون لإصلاح نفوس في مباح أو لإصلاح بين طائفتين من. And those are the people that are in debt. Someone who is in debt, if there's a zakat, we can take those money and give it to that person to relieve themselves. السابع في سبيل الله. In the cause and in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, zakat can be taken and given to those people. Ibn Sabil. Someone came from India, someone came from Pakistan, or from Sudan, or from anywhere part of the world, came to America to learn, or to go to school. And when he came, the money that he is getting from the government as a scholarship is not enough, or in fact, he doesn't receive the money anymore, the scholarship fund. So when he comes to the masjid, the imam can take the zakat and give it to that student to help him out in his journey, because he is fi sabilillah. He came to learn and benefit his community, the Muslims community out there. When he returned back, if he is a doctor, he's going to open a pharmacy, a clinic, and Muslims will come, he will help them. So because of that, those students can also be given help. And even if it is not a student, someone who is in a journey, if he comes to some place and his money that he had lost or got stolen by someone, and he has no money with him, he can come to the Muslim community and they will take the zakat and give it to him, because he is among those group of people that can benefit from the zakat. Okay? فَهَؤُلَاءِ هُمْ أَهْلُ الزَّكَاةِ لَا يَجُوزُ دَفْعُهَا إِلَى غَيْرِهِمْ. Those 8 people that we just mentioned, those are the legitimate people that you benefit from the zakat. You cannot give zakat to anyone else. وَيَجُوزُ دَفْعُهَا إِلَى وَاحِدٍ مِّنْهُمْ. Which means, if you have $10,000, حَالَ عَلَيْهِ الْحَوْلِ, 1 year passes, $10,000 still in your account, you will take the $250, which is the zakat of the $10,000, and give it to one person, one poor student or one poor family. Or you can give it to few people, 3 people, you just give 250, 2 people, 250, 250. It is jaiz. Fahimi? So these are the 8 people that has to benefit from the zakat, and it is obligatory upon us that we should give the zakat to those people. However, we cannot give the zakat li ghani. A rich person comes and said, well, I need a zakat. Can we give it to him? No. Why? Because it does not, there's no rationale for him to take that money. لا فائدة من أخذ هذا المال. الغني هل يجوز له أن يأخذ من الزكاة؟ لا يجوز. بل حرام عليه أن يشيل من الزكاة. It is for the poor and the needy people that are in need of. If your father or your mother is poor, can you take your zakat and give it to your mother and your dad? لا. Why? Because in Islam, it is obligatory upon you to take care of them. Those are your family that you have to take care of them. الأب والأم الفقير الأب الفقير أو الأم الفقيرة لا يجوز لك أن تدفع زكاتك إليهما لأنه يجب عليك من أول الوهلة أن تنفق عليهما. It is obligatory upon you to spend on them. وقضى ربك ألا تعبدوا إلا إياه وبالوالدين إحسانا. It is obligatory upon you to take care of them, to be dutiful to them, to be kind to them. It is your son. Can you take zakat and give it to your poor son? No. Because in Islam, if the father is rich, he has to help his son who is poor to help him out. Okay? However, my wife, she's a rich woman. And I'm the husband, very poor. I don't have nothing. In fact, my account is negative always. Can my wife take her zakat and give it to me as a husband? Yes. See that? My wife, she has the money, she has the zakat, nisab. She can come and tell me, hey, honey, you're poor. There is your zakat. There is my zakat for this year. That's hikmah, that's guys. Did we get that? A non-Muslim, can we take the zakat and give it to non-Muslim? Yeah. However, can we give a charity to them other than zakat? Yes. If a non-Muslim can't, and we have sadaqat, which is another bab of something charity that we do, but it's not the obligatory one, we can help them out. Give them money. But zakat is mainly for the Muslims themselves. Okay? So this is the most important things that we have to know about zakat. It is obligatory that we give the zakat, and also we should not delay it. If we have it, we should give the zakat because there is a warning. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala warned that those people that refuses to give the zakat, there is atonement, punishment for them. Wal-'iyadhu billah. Finally, if my wife have gold, but she use it for personal uses, can she give the zakat upon it? No. Scholars say, the majority of scholars say, no, it is not obligatory upon her. This chain, the gold that she's wearing, or for there's no zakat upon it. Okay? There are some scholars who are saying that she can, because based on an hadith that was narrated, but a handful of scholars, permanent scholars, contemporary scholars, and even previous scholars like during the other centuries, they concluded that there's no zakat in personal uses, something that you use for personal uses. هذا وصلى الله على نبينا محمد.